Hello, everyone. Welcome to Everything Arsenal. Patience, the one quality that Arsenal teaches you. Like, we can never be in trouble in terms of patience in the future. Like, Arsenal has really taught us how to be patient. We will be talking about the latest on Declan Rice. I've seen people losing it once again. Who haven't you completed it all that? I think it has something to do with West Ham, obviously complicating everything as well. And we'll also talk about the latest on Thomas Partey and also Balogun. Could we have all three players at Arsenal next season? Maybe. And also, obviously, Granit Xhaka. Let's start with Declan Rice because most people want to know the latest on Deckers. So, according to Jacob Steinberg, as Arsenal are close to finalizing terms over the 105 million deal for Declan Rice, with the guaranteed portion of the fee expected to be paid in 3 installments over 24 months. Rice is expected to undergo a medical and join Arsenal this week. So we will talk about the training and everything, but I'm sure it's not going to pass this week. If West Ham had just agreed on the 105 million in the structure we had given them, this would have been done completely long time ago. But the thing is, West Ham wanted it to be paid like in 18 months or something. So Arsenal not being able to pay it in that 18 months, they had to negotiate some way to find a way to at least make it 2 years or something like that, and also 3 installments instead of 2 installments. So I don't think that is a matter of one day. Yes, it can take 1 day, especially if it's like a cheap signing, 25, 30 million. But I don't think it's going to be taking like a day or two to quickly say, okay, you know what? Okay, we want 18 months. Okay, fine. We're going to give within 18 months. No, I think it's a matter of them going down again and sitting down and looking at the balance, trying to balance the books and everything. Okay, if we pay 50 million for him this year instead of 25, is it going to affect us this next year if we sell this one? Do we have to sell this player? I think it's a matter of sitting down and talking about it for days, especially if you're dealing with that kind of money. I don't think it's going to be easy. So just a little bit of more patience. It's going to be done very, very soon. So this is what Jacob Steinberg has had to add about this. West Ham are selling the midfielder for 100 million plus 5 million in add-ons, and the transfer is on the verge of completion. Arsenal wanted to spread the cost over the guaranteed payment over 5 years, but have been forced to bring the number of installments down in order to bring Mikel Arteta's top summer target to the Emirates Stadium. Talks over the nature of the add-ons are ongoing, but Rice is expected to undergo a medical and join Arsenal this week. So it's going to be done very, very soon. Do not worry about it. It has taken longer than what you were hoping for, obviously, but I knew it was not going to be easy to just get it done. We are talking about a 100 million pound player, so it is never going to be easy to get him. Jacob Steinberg also says that keeping the payment structure on a tight schedule will help West Ham's financial position. They were angling for the 100 million to be paid by the end of 2024. So Arsenal have had to discuss with them until we can pay it until like 2025. But it is understood that a compromise has been reached on the summer of 2025 as the date for the final payment. West Ham were placed on UEFA's financial fair play watch list last September. So West Ham themselves being placed under the watch of financial fair play FFP, they have to get all the money they want or all the money they need as soon as possible. Arsenal not being able to do that immediately, we had to talk with them. I'm not worried about how long it's going to take. Obviously, we need the player for preseason and everything, but people are worried that other teams are going to come in for him. No, the deal has already been agreed. The player already wants to join Arsenal. It's just about the structure. Just a couple of days and it's going to be done. Also, Jacob Steinberg adds, Man City had targeted Rice after the losing Ilkay Gundogan to Barcelona, but had a 90 million bid rejected. City decided to walk away after Arsenal, who had already seen 2 bids stand away, decided to go over 100 million for the 24-year-old. The champions were unwilling to get into a bidding war with Arsenal and felt that West Ham's demands, particularly around the structure, were too high. So Man City themselves felt like the structure in terms of structure with West Ham discussions were too high. The demands were too high. So I wouldn't really have expected Arsenal to take like a day to complete it. This is 105 million we're talking about. So especially 100 million in terms of guaranteed payment. So that one is always going to take time, especially now that they know they're the only team that is going for Rice. Of course, they know like they don't really have to rush. They don't really rush because the fans want them to rush. That's the one thing we need to know. They don't really say, okay, because Glenn wants them to pay by tomorrow, they're going to pay that. No, they're going to try and do whatever is right for the club in terms of balancing the books and not getting too crazy in terms of the money and getting yourself in trouble. But you will get the player. He also says Arsenal are spending heavily as they prepare for another title challenge and have already bought the German attacker Kai Havertz from Chelsea for 65 million. They're also close to completing a deal for Ajax defender Julian Timber. Xhaka is likely to join Bayer Leverkusen, and Thomas Partey has interest from Juventus and clubs in Saudi Pro League. We'll talk about Xhaka and Partey. But for Rice, another reason I'm not expecting it to be that long, preseason has already started. Preseason, the players are back for preseason. The likes of Nketiah, Jesus, White were back on Monday, and they're the likes of Saliba and Tomiyasu have all returned. So last season we were able to get Jesus and Declan Rice. I wish we were able to get Jesus and Fabio Vieira very, very early in the transfer market or transfer window, and they were there like by the time we were facing Nuremberg. So Jesus was played the game against Nuremberg. So I'm expecting the same with Declan Rice and Timber. They will be complete very, very soon, considering the preseason starts next week, and we will be having him as an Arsenal player. I would say I'm expecting him to join preseason training by Monday. So in terms of medical and signing and completing all those photos and everything, that has to happen this week for him, and also G and Timber. There has been a few talks that the Arsenal tours and stuff at the stadium have been closed down for particular days. Maybe that means on those specific days, the likes of Declan Rice will be signing. I mean, also the women's do their photo shoots there. So someone like Alessia Russo's have been signed as well. I think that is why maybe they had closed down the Arsenal tour yesterday or something. So maybe one of them could be Tim and the other one could be Declan Rice as well. Maybe you'll be hearing about Saliba's announcement in terms of new contract, and also Reece Nelson. But just a little bit of more patience, we will get it done. We will be getting the here we go very, very soon. Apparently, we've agreed on 24 months rather than 18 months and rather than 5 years in terms of paying the money. Speaking of midfielders, now, Xhaka, let's talk about that. That is definitely happening. Granted, Xhaka's 21.5 million move to Bayer Leverkusen is now imminent, according to Alex Cook. Another reason why this one is imminent is because I'm sure they're expecting Rice to be signing very soon. So the moment we hear Declan Rice, here we go, that's the same time you're going to hear Xhaka to Bayer Leverkusen, here we go. I wish Xhaka all the best. Brilliant player, especially last season. I didn't have the best of times in an Arsenal shirt if you put the 7 years together. But in terms of the last 2 seasons, I think he's had a positive end to his Arsenal career. And it's good that he's ending on his own terms, and not because we don't want him here, because he's fallen out with fans and stuff. So good to at least get 21.5 million for him. But does that mean Partey will also be on his way out? Well, according to reports from Charles Watts that just come a couple of minutes ago, Thomas Partey will hold talks with Arsenal when he returns to London Colney this week. Arsenal are still to be open to letting him leave this summer should a suitable offer arrive. Now, if 50 million comes in for him, then we'll try and figure out what you can do. But if no one is willing to pay more than 40 million, then, as you said, we have no problem with keeping him. I'd be 100% happy keeping Partey. So this is what Charles Watts says. Thomas Partey will hold talks with Arsenal when he returns to London Colney this week. The midfielder flew back to England at the weekend for the start of pre-season and will soon link up with Mikel Arteta's squad ahead of next week's training camp in Germany. And the 30-year-old will seek some clarity over Arsenal's long-term plans for him, with the North London club understood to be open to letting him leave this summer. Partey has 2 years left on his contract with the Gunners, and despite some reports, has never told the club he wants to leave. So, according to Charles Watts, it's not Partey who wants to leave. So the only other thing is, I don't think we want him to leave because of on the pitch matters. It might be Arsenal not wanting to be involved in Partey's case, and maybe in terms of the wages as well. Maybe we feel like if we sell Partey in the likes of 10, it's going to bring our wages down, and we are able to give the likes of Saka new contracts and sign the players like Declan Rice. Partey has 2 years left in his contract. I read that one. One of the main reasons that the Ghana international left Atletico Madrid for Arsenal in 2020 was to help the club get back into the Champions League. And now that he has done that, he would like to represent the Gunners in Europe's elite club competition. But with Arsenal's club record 105 million deal for West Ham captain Declan Rice finally edging towards completion, Partey's future has increasingly been called into question. Juventus are keeping tabs on the midfielder situation, as are a number of clubs in Saudi Arabia, but Arsenal are not yet believed to have received any bids. Obviously, he goes on to talk about signing Havertz and also Xhaka potentially going to Bayer Leverkusen. So the Partey case is a difficult one in terms of him staying or leaving, or because of whatever is going on off the pitch. We have to wait and see what happens. If things calm down and he ends up staying, perfect for us because he's a very important player in our team. But if things get too difficult and he has to leave, I think we have to accept it and move on and try and get a replacement for him. Balogun is the next one. What's the latest on Balogun? According to reports, throughout his spell at Reims, Arsenal have been very much in touch with following Balogun and his representatives. There are ongoing talks since Mikel Arteta is very impressed with the American and wants to keep him. So I mean, if he's happy to stay and he's happy to fight for his position at Arsenal, he's a very good player, 100% keep him. That will give us a different option in terms of forward players. And maybe that will allow us not to sign like a 80, 90 million kind of striker for now. Having Balogun there and Jesus there. And obviously we scored 88 goals last season, and that was with Jesus missing half of the season, with obviously players like Fabio Vieira not being in form, and players like Nketiah not playing half of the season. I'm not performing half the season. I don't think really it's his fault. Doesn't really play that much. And obviously depending on Saka and Martinelli. So if you have other options like Balogun there and a fit Jesus, I think you can be able to even crack 100 goals if you keep up this same form from last season and obviously win some games that you're supposed to win. You can easily crack the 100 goal mark. So Balogun, if he wants to stay and fight for his position, keep him. I'm happy to do that. But if he's forcing himself to play and asking the manager, okay, I'm not going to stay if you're not going to play me every single day, it's difficult to play every single day in this team. There's going to be a lot of rotation, and that is what we want. Whether it's Martinelli playing or Trossard, whether it's Zinchenko playing or Tierney, whether it's Ben White playing or Tomiyasu, whether it's Timber, Saliba, whether it's Fabio Vieira or Odegaard, we want competition in our team. We want everyone to be fit. By the time we get to the end of the season, we want everyone to still have some more energy to use on the final games of the season. So if he wants to leave, then you have to sell him, but you have to get like at least 40 million for him. My ideal solution, if he wasn't going to stay, is to loan him out to a Premier League team, just to get some game time, even if it's just until January, and then you get him back for the FA Cup time and the later stages in the Premier League and Champions League. Then hopefully we can, but let's see what happens with Balogun as well. Another one that still needs to be sorted out, and there's a lot that still needs to be sorted out. According to reports on Romeo Lavia as well, Liverpool, Chelsea, Man United are still in talks with him. This is one that I've always said I'm not 100% sure is going to end up at Arsenal. The Declan Rice one, I've always said 92%, even when Man City were coming in for him. But the Lavia one, I feel like since we've been talking to Declan Rice all this time and Havertz, maybe these other teams have gotten time to talk to him. And also 40, 50 million, any team's going to pay that for him. I'd not be surprised if he ended up staying at Southampton, and that means Man City will get him back on a very cheap the next year. So let's see what happens with that one as well. We'll be back with GN Timber update if there's any, and let's hope we get a here we go very soon for any of our players, man. Timber, Declan Rice, I'd be very, very happy. Thank you for watching. I've already done a video talking about players who are back in training. Hopefully Rice and Timber join that as well, but in case you haven't watched, I've already posted it. Thank you.